What's going on, guys? Broken Prophet here. Welcome back to the vlog. Here's hoping that you are having an amazing Tuesday. See, I didn't even have to check this time. I didn't even have to check. I already knew it was Tuesday, but that's because I don't have my watch on. But I'm slick trying to look and see if it is indeed Tuesday. The days just kind of run together. But anyway, we're almost at hump day, which means, we are powering through this week. So anyway, here's a new video for you guys, kind of a deviation from my norm. Okay, I'm not gonna tell y'all what I'm not gonna do. I started to say I'm not gonna, well, I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I'm not giving out a spell, but y'all still gonna like this video. Okay, the ones in which I give out work y'all love the most, but I'm thinking y'all gonna like this one as well, because this video we are going to do a live unboxing and honest review of the Hoodoo Tarot. It's by Tayannah McQuillar. Hopefully I said it right. It's not McQuillar or whatever. Sister, my apologies if I butchered your name. But you guys mentioned it a lot. I see a lot of pictures online, not that I'm looking, but I just stumble across them, of people using this deck. And I said, you know what, let's unbox it and give an honest opinion of it. It feels pretty sturdy so far. I mean, the list price is $35. Y'all, I ain't paid. I did not pay that. I got it on sale. I got it on sale. So let's not dawdle and let's get this thing rolling. So it feels pretty heavy. I think this is a deck and book set. You know, all tarot decks come with books, but I'm used to like the old fashioned one. Remember the Rider Waite tarot? It comes in a yellow box and it's got the little book in there. This seems like it comes with a doggone dictionary. I was trying to be too gingerly because I didn't want to damage anything, but true, it seems like they want to make this toddler proof, which made it hard for me to get in here. But let's see. All right, got the plastic off. Now it's got this slip case. So you got the one hard case, and then you got the slip case. Let's see if it'll come out of there. All right. So, all right, opening it up. Let's give a little fun facts about the deck on the back. Like a little teaser, I guess, if you inside the store and you see it, it gives a little teaser. So inside here, we've got a book. Got a book in there. And here is the deck proper. Oh, and I just dropped both of them. The deck proper is divided into two halves. Now, I don't know if it's like a standard tarot deck where you got the major and the minor arcana. We're going to open that in a second. Now, let me read y'all the back of this, the part that's meant to hook you. Let's see. And it tells you that it's in the divination/tarot section of the bookstore. Celebrating the complex American rootwork tradition, the Hoodoo Tarot integrates esoteric and botanical knowledge from Hoodoo with the divination system of the tarot. Now, I like the fact that she mentioned that part. Hoodoo has its methodology that no matter what the marketeers want you to believe, there is a certain way we do things. See, when they remove religion and put system or tradition in there, well, systems and traditions can be moved around. They can be adjusted to the user's needs, whims, wants, and fancies. But people generally can't do that to tradition. And the marketeers hated that. They wanted to be able to move it around according to who was buying it. Okay. At the time of the craft, they wanted it to be more of a oddly enough, even though the craft is about these four girls doing work, their kind of work, not ours, their kind of work. Even though there's that one token black girl, but I digress. Even though it's their way of doing work, they were loners. So at that time, the marketeers marketed Hoodoo to be a solitary practice for all the teen angst, lonely people out there. You can work wonders by yourself. So they wanted it to be able to be sold to the masses. One thing about Hoodoo, even though it has its own methodology of doing things that can't be changed by the marketeers, traditionally, divination has been wide open. However you want to divine with spirit has always been up to you. So yeah, you can use tarot. Now, I could say there were no tarot cards back on the plantation, but guess what? We never got our hands on these either. This is what I read with. We never got our hands on these either. We would make them, as anybody who has ever been in a state-funded institution of higher learning, y'all know what I mean by that. People will make some cards, just tear up some paper and draw them because you are just that bored. We have been making those. I doubt we ever made tarot cards, but I don't know, so I can't speak on that. Structured like a traditional tarot deck, each of the 78 cards features full color paintings by magical realist artist Caitlin Foisey and elegantly interprets the classical tarot imagery through depictions of legendary root workers past and present, as well as important hoodoo symbolism. Now, if she ain't got me in this deck, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. In the accompanying guidebook, Tayannah McQuillar provides a history of hoodoo and its complex heritage, including its roots in multiple African and indigenous American ethnic groups as well as its European influences. She explores the traditional forms of divination used by root workers, including cartomancy, reading cards. You know, it kills me. Folks will be like, I practice cartomancy. I'm like, Calvin Jenkins, if you don't stop, you read cards. Kinda. Explaining how pairing the tarot with hoodoo is a natural fit. Well, divination and hoodoo are natural fit. I wouldn't go as far to say tarot, but if I were selling a tarot deck, I would say tarot and hoodoo are natural fit. But divination is a natural fit. And y'all know something funny. I know I'm getting into this deck. Y'all know something funny. Y'all will rework all kinds of work according to how it fits you. The one thing that you can personalize, how you divine, y'all don't want to do it. Y'all just work. Don't do no kind of divination whatsoever. But anyway, let me stop fussing. For each card in the major arcana and the four suits of the minor arcana, sticks, baskets, knives, and coins. So she did sticks, baskets, knives, and coins as opposed to swords, pinnacles, cups, and what's the other one? Coins, I think. That's fine. McKillar shares the history of the root worker or symbol featured, any associated magical plants, a related scriptural quote, and guidance and advice based on the card's meaning. She also offers instructions on card spreads and shares sample card readings. Now, a little bit about her. Tayannah McQuillar is a tarot reader and researcher of religion, esoteric, and mysticism. The author of several books, including Rootwork, The Folk Magic of Black America, and the divination deck, The Syllables Oraculum. She lives in New York City, blah, 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 as an artist, her work. It talks about her being an author. It does not talk about her being a worker, which, okay, no worries. I'm gonna keep that part in mind though. I pay attention to details. I'm gonna keep that part in mind. It says that she's a tarot reader and she's an author. Does not say she's a root worker, but you've written books on root work. That's fine. One of the books that I recommend to y'all is not written by a root worker. It's written by a cultural and spiritual anthropologist. So opening up the book, it is the standard tarot accompanying tarot book. It is broken down into different sections on like the ace of knives, the two of coins, just like a standard tarot book is, or normally is. So I won't get too much into that. It gives a brief introduction on what is hoodoo. Now let's dive into this because I want to see what she says hoodoo is. And again, this is my honest review. Your mileage may vary. Feel free, because I have no idea how I'm going to feel about this. You guys are seeing it live. Um, whether I say it's great or whether I say it's absolutely terrible, your mileage may vary. Since divination is open like that, take what I say with a grain of salt. You may love this deck or you may hate it. So, take it with a grain of salt. Let's see. The resurgence of mainstream interest in witchcraft, the occult, and African indigenous spirituality is without a doubt responsible for the proliferation of literature, workshops, festivals, conferences, and social media groups focused on root working. As a result, there have been a shocking number of people claiming to be practitioners, authorities, and/or teachers of this centuries-old tradition. That is true. It is for this reason that I decided it was time for me to address the topic again, not to berate anyone else, but to clarify a few things, get more in depth, and correct a huge mistake I made in my first book. This error was the description of hoodoo as folk magic. Have you been listening to me? in an attempt to assimilate the topic to academic language and standards. But hoodoo wasn't folk magic when it started being described as such by social scientists, nor is it folk magic now. Come on, sis. You better come on. Hoodoo is a culture and inheritance with a distinct lineage in North America. It is a religion. She didn't put that. That's fine. So, let's see. Let me go through here because I mean, I'm not gonna like give the whole book away. You know that would do this sister a disservice. Um, she goes into just how she feels hoodoo came about. She, like a lot of people, want to attribute a large part of hoodoo um, to, well, I don't say a large part, but she mentions, North American Aboriginal groups. So they talking about in Native Americans and stuff like that. And to be honest, the the inclusion of Native American practices in hoodoo is nowhere near as big as people would like to think. As the marketeers try to lead people to believe. Now, was it a large part of marketing after the emancipation? Absolutely. I've gone into that before because there are two stages of hoodoo. There's the plantation hoodoo, then there's at post emancipation. We're up north trying to make hoodoo a business because we needed to make money type of hoodoo. And of course, back then, other cultures were considered exotic, and people would buy and it was a form of marketing. People would buy into exotic. People were always, because of the Wild West, you would hear people red Indian this. Okay, I mean, look at Chinese wash that we use. Ain't a China. Come on, So a large part of that was marketing, the inclusion of Native Americans and whatnot. Because since, well, there were so few just actually walking around, because unfortunately, because of plantations, they kind of got this mystique about them. So yeah, that we'll get into that. So it speaks about getting to know the Hoodoo Tarot, kind of familiarizing yourself with it. It talks about what the four tools, which are the four different the like the sticks, the baskets, the knives, and the coins. It speaks about what they go into, like primal energy, love, ideas, wealth. Like coins, obviously, would be wealth. All right, and it speaks about she tells about the different images in the cards and how to read them. Now, she gives some sample spreads here, which would be great. I'll play around with them. Y'all let me know in the comment section if you like me to video some of my um, sample spreads with this thing and how to. Now, I like the fact she touches on how to formulate a question. A lot of people don't know how to do that. So now we're getting into the cards. So let's actually open the cards now. A lot of people don't know how to formulate a question when they're doing divination. And you would think I could just answer anything or ask anything, right? No, Nick Noggs. It's like I made a joke on Discord. I'm opening the deck. I made a joke on Discord this morning. Or was it yes? It was yesterday about my male students versus my female students, right? And they both had their pluses and they both had, their not as plus. And one of the things that I've noticed, like if I ask, hey, will you guys give me a a topic for the next webinar? My male students will be like money magic, um, court case magic. My female students will be like how to keep a bitch named Cece to how to get a bitch named Cece to keep my name out her mouth. They they tend to want to steer it towards what they have going on as opposed to as a whole. Well, a lot of people don't, they don't really know how to answer, ask a question that the cards can't answer. People ask me, well, Prophet, can you tell me what state I'm supposed to move to? And I'm like, I don't have a list of states in my deck. So I like the fact that she teaches you how to formulate a question. Okay. Now, off the bat, I can tell you these cards, although they're not the thickest that I've dealt with, they're not the thinnest either. So you would get some use out of them, meaning they'll stick around for a while. Seems like. Um, I obviously can't tell if the colors will run because I'm not going to get them wet, but they're thick enough that I feel like they'll hold up, but they're thin enough that you should be able to shuffle without a problem. They're the size of a standard deck of tarot cards. So if you got small hands, you may have a problem shuffling. I can bridge them no problem, but I got big meaty Southern boy hands. So the imagery, I like the imagery. We've got the free man here, and this looks to me. I mean, this could be you could take it a bunch of different ways here. Um, this could be a spirit freed from the cemetery. I'm not going to read the definition of the book. I'm just saying. Now, the free man could represent because he's kind of light complected. Could represent someone lighter in color that was freed from slavery. So, the imagery I like. One thing that I can't say I like or dislike, but I am noticing is that the cards have an aged appearance to them. If I can get my camera to focus. The card, there we go. They have an aged appearance to them. If you look at them, it looks like they, it looks like they're older than they really. Y'all saw me open it. So they haven't aged. There's an artificial aging to them. Now I could tell she actually did a little bit of research here, and I like it because she included a Black Herman card. Now, if you guys have been following me for a while, or some of my students in the past know, I had a lot of respect for this brother here, Black Herman. The reason being, in a little bit of history, Black Herman was one of less than a handful of touring black magicians. Now, I know you're like, oh, really? Magic? Who can? Listen, back in the day, magicians would tour and they were treated like rock stars. Well, and I've actually got, you see, there is Thurston right there. And I had a Houdini poster somewhere. I don't know where it went. But they were like rock stars. They would sell out theaters. If you ever see movies, like The Prestige was a magician movie, you kind of see that's what happened. And one thing that I loved about Black Herman, let me see if it's down here anywhere. It's not. He put out a book. I had it somewhere. Black Herman put out a book that was stage magic, like card tricks, stuff like that in the front, hoodoo in the back. So I love that about that book. And I'm like, I see what you did there, buddy. I see what you did. So we've got other cards here. The imagery is good. I mean, the artwork is great. I was afraid that when I saw this artwork, I was going to get the stereotypical black drawing faces. Y'all know, everyone always draws us the same way. There was always some brother or sister in high school that wanted to be an artist, and they always drew us with like the big kind of square nose and the thick lips, like the power to the people drawing, which is nothing wrong with that. But I didn't want to see it in this deck. This looks more like you could tell a lot of it was the reimagining of photographs. It was the reimagining of photographs. Like this one of Bishop Mason. We've all seen that photo of Bishop Mason before. If you don't know who Bishop Mason is, then just Google, and what comes up will be this picture. So it's a reimagining of the picture. There's nothing wrong with that. Um, Courting Railroad Bill. Okay. Okay. Now I have a working knowledge of regular tarot. So I can see how some of this some of the imagery kind of coincides with regular tarot because I have seen this card. I have seen this card with a Rider Waite deck. I've seen it. So, okay. Okay. So not only was it a reimagining of like the picture, but also the standard Rider-Waite tarot deck. I'm loving now. One thing I'm noticing about this deck, the artwork is kind of hit or miss. That to me looks phenomenal. Some of the faces look kind of like AI drew them. See how the perspective is kind of off. Now they could have been going for that dream quality distortion, but like say for instance, right here, they could have been going for dream quality distortion. We've all seen that picture of Aunt Carolyn die, but I think it kind of misses the mark. It kind of misses the mark because some pictures, if I can get the camera to focus, some pictures are wonderfully proportioned. I like the way the greens are actually green while everything else is kind of dreamy black and white. But look how clear the pictures are. I mean, the faces are here. They are proportioned. This could have been a photograph. But then we get here, and not so much. Not so much. Oh, of course, everyone includes a Gullah Jack card. People ask me, do I work with Gullah Jack? And absolutely not. I don't. And it's not. Uh, it's not because I'm afraid of Gullah Jack. It's because I don't see him being particularly effective. I know, boy, people gonna get upset when I say that, but again, you gotta know your history. So and of course, there's an ancestor card. Now, I love that. Now, a lot of people may get freaked out. The imagery here, a child that's half skull, but that's kind of the duality of mankind. I don't know. I haven't read the book to see if that was what the point they were trying to make. But I love the fact that that's what we are, cradle to the grave. That's a child with one half child face, one half skull. That's what we all are constantly being and becoming. Now, I think they captured this sister's face perfectly because y'all all make that face all the time. My sister in the house right now making this face. Right now. There you go. Captured that perfectly. Okay. So I'm not going to go through every card, but you guys kind of see my impression of them. Um, I'm gonna jump back in the book or Big Mama. Love that. Love it. Do not love this. I wish that we could get away from this idiotic spelling of stuff. I know it's part of our culture, but DEM, y'all know that triggers me. It's like a pet peeve. Like when people say John Duh Conqueror. Like, no, no. I once dated somebody looked kind of like that was scary for a minute. Dated somebody looked like her too. Yeah, your boy kept a dime. So I like the imagery. Um, okay. A lot of Native American stuff in there, a lot of cooking, a lot of skulls, churches, eating, family. Okay. Okay. So there's a brother divining. Y'all, funny story. Funny story, mid-deck review. So y'all know I just got faster internet, and the guy was driving this machine that dug the trench and then laid the cord or the cable in it. Now, I had to tell him, I said, look, okay, me and Mr. J, because the well is out in the yard. I said, me and Mr. J we dug the trench ourselves and ran the water hose from the well to the house. We dug it ourselves. I forgot where it was, so I don't want you to cut it. And he was like, "Don't worry, I'm gonna find it." So he took out, and y'all, I swear you can't make this up. That brother took out, like a dowsing rod, and he was like, "It say the water's flowing right here." And I said, "Boy, you can't." make that up. I love it. I love it. It's still alive and well. That's why I hate when people say, well, we had to put hoodoo out because it was in danger of dying. No, it wasn't. I love the fact that this sister said it was a part of our culture, because it is. And the imagery is about the same. The faces seem to be hit or miss. I don't know if the pictures that they had distorted. I don't know if the artist, because there seems to be two different types of style. It looks like it was almost, and let me see if y'all see this as well. Comment in the chat. It seems like there's almost two different artists. You know, like you have the cartoony ones, but still in proportion, right? You have the almost abstract ones here. See, I mean, almost abstract here. Um, and then you have ones where the proportions are all the way off here. Like it looks like something I could draw, because I can't draw. So to me, it looks like the artwork is kind of hit or miss. I'll try to delve into it. If y'all want me to do a follow up review, I will. I'll delve into it and see if I can pick up like little hidden things, Now, I'm gonna touch on the book briefly because I want to look and make sure they're not doing something that another deck of this type did. Um, Now, for the different cards here, they're giving plants and then a description of the image and then the meaning. I know I'll do a follow up review because this deck, and some of them they she gives a scripture. This deck reminds me of another deck. Okay, and what I'm looking for, let me look at the Bishop C Mason, which is I guess part of the major arcana. Excuse me. Gives a little history about him, gives the meaning. Okay, and it does not give workings. Now I'm gonna go through it and see if it gives workings out, which to me would be a big no-no. But otherwise, I don't see anything wrong with it. Um, I was not particularly fond of this sister's book. Not this book, but she wrote a book on hoodoo. I think it was referenced. She wrote a book on hoodoo. I was not particularly fond of it because it was very marketeered. As far as I mean, you could tell where a lot of it came from. Okay, and and if she never listed herself as a root worker on the box. She listed herself as an author and a tarot reader. So maybe the marketeered information was all she had access to. Won't gig her for that. Not very fond of her book, but this deck, I kind of like it. I kind of like it. Um, the suggested reading section, I'm not gonna read it out. Um, uh, mm, mm. Yep, and there we go. Now, I do agree with Tony Kale, A Secret History of Memphis Hoodoo. Absolutely, I agree with that one. But she lists Harry Middleton Hyatt, which is how I knew that where her book came from. Harry Middleton Hyatt had a great undertaking. He wanted to document hoodoo, and he went out, but he did not collect any real hoodoo because we tricksy people. But his 5 volumes influenced the marketeers, and they're all incomplete or just made up workings. So, yeah, um, all in all, I'd say not a bad deck. Would I recommend it if you read tarot? Absolutely. Like I said, I haven't gone into it as far as like the herbs and whatnot, but it looks like a decent hoodoo themed tarot deck. I at this point have no problems with it. If I do a follow up, then maybe I will. Who knows? So, but like I said, take what I say with a grain of salt. My only, let's see, my pros. It seems to be very sturdy. She covered a lot of traditional bases, and I don't see any recommending of workings in here. It seems to be strictly history and divination, which I like. My cons, well, and this is only if this is a thing for you, and that seems to be an inconsistency in the artwork. There's some, photograph type art, which y'all know what I mean. If you take an app and you snap a picture and then the app and you hit turn into a cartoon, y'all know what I mean, where it still looks like the picture. You have some of those in here, but you also have some that looks like it was, done by someone that was very young. Some are very distorted, almost dreamlike. Some just look kind of bad. And we're talking just rating the faces, because faces are hard to draw. Okay, that's it. I said I will do a follow up, and we will see if y'all want me to do more of these. Let me know. Like I said in the beginning, I don't think y'all saw that part because I'm recording this in front of a live audience. I also have this deck of conjure cards. Okay, so if y'all would like me to do one of these, then y'all need to smash that like button down below, and make sure y'all comment and run this up for me. Now, the other deck that this reminded me of was this one, the New Orleans Voodoo Tarot. I like the Hoodoo Tarot more than the New Orleans Voodoo Tarot. Not that I had a problem with it per se. I did in the beginning, but I went back and revised it for what it was. The artwork in the New Orleans Voodoo Tarot is consistent all the way through, but not as rich as in the Hoodoo Tarot. The one thing that I did not like about the New Orleans Voodoo Tarot is that you cannot tell someone how to work with the Loa. Okay, you can't. But again, we're talking about New Orleans voodoo, so it's different, and they're all over the place. We've got voodoo, Santeria, even a little bit of Palo, which y'all know that hit me kind of like, "Look, you can't do that. You get somebody hurt." And the one thing that I also did not like is that in the accompanying book, in some cards, they gave workings. And I'm like, no, you can't do that, because y'all know how people will be. People will buy the tarot deck, and instead of it being a means of divination, now they're all of a sudden they're workers because they read the book that came with the deck of tarot. See, when we put things out into when we put things out into the community, we have to be cognizant of the fact of how it will be received. We can do all the research and try to be as authentic as possible, but we have to be careful in the wording, because people may take what we put out and do something and go all the way left with it, even though I'm going right. Go all the way left with it. Okay. So that was my issue with the New Orleans Voodoo Tarot. Still, as a means of divination, it's great. Okay. As a means of divination, is great. But other than that, you got to be careful. But anyway, I know this was a long video. I apologize. I thought it was okay. Hopefully, you guys liked it. In the meantime, do me a favor, absolutely smash that like button. Feel free to subscribe to me here and over on Kick. And if you would like for me to do a follow up, or if you would like for me to do something similar with the Conjure cards or Hoodoo book reviews, give my open and honest opinion about the Hoodoo books that are out there, then please comment down below. But as always, thank you guys so much. I'll probably decide when the next webinar is going to be in the next few days, and I will let you guys know. Make sure you check the community sections tab. All right. Thank y'all so much. Have a good one. Have a great rest of your week. If I don't see you between now and the next video, profit out.